If you've closed your first real estate deal and then felt like the next month you were right back at zero, this is exactly why. Most people think the first deal is the breakthrough. It's not. The real breakthrough is learning how to make that first win repeatable. Because if every month starts with finding new leads, rebuilding buyer demand, restarting momentum, and chasing confidence again, you didn't build wealth. You built another job. And that's where most people unknowingly stay stuck. This is the trap that nobody talks about. We've all seen this happen. Someone does their first wholesale. Maybe they make $10,000 or $15,000. For a week, they feel unstoppable. Then the money gets spent, the momentum fades, and suddenly they're back to scrolling Zillow, texting agents, and trying to get another one. That's not a wealth system. That's a transaction loop. The investors who actually build wealth after the first deal don't just celebrate the money. They study the machine that created it. Because the first deal isn't proof of freedom. It's proof of a working input. It tells you what a lead source converted, what type of seller moved, what a buyer paid fastest, what exit strategy had the cleanest spread, what part of the process almost broke. That data is the real asset. The money is temporary. The system is what compounds. Here's a 5-step system that shows what real investors actually do after the first deal closes. Step 1. Double down on the winning lead source. Don't chase 10 new channels. Do more of what already proved itself. If your first deal came from probate, go deeper there. If it came from reverse wholesaling, expand buyer conversations. Growth comes from reinforcement, not randomness. Step 2 is expand buyer leverage. The first buyer should lead to 5 more. Ask them what else they're buying. Same zip codes, same condition, cash only or flexible terms. Who else in their network buys this type of deal? One close can become a network momentum if you're asking the right questions at the close. Step 3. Reinvest a fixed percentage of every deal. Every deal should fund more lead flow, better systems, follow-up automation, reserves, and long-term holds. That's how the business starts feeding itself instead of feeding one transaction at a time. Step 4. Turn active cash into durable assets. This is where wealth actually begins. Use active income to build rentals, notes positions, seller finance paper, land, small multifamily, or tax-deed inventory. The deal should fund equity, not lifestyle inflation. Step 5 is to build the playbook. Document the lead source, the touch points, the objections, the offer structure, the buyer criteria, and the time to close. Once that's written down and repeatable, success stops depending on memory and starts depending on process. That's when things start to compound. Here's what most people miss. The first deal gives you cash, but the buyer ecosystem and the repeatable process give you freedom. And those two things only exist if you're intentional enough to build them after the close instead of just moving on to the next deal. The first deal is not the goal. The system behind the first deal is the goal. Because once that system is documented and reinvested, you stop starting over every month. You start backing buyers, lead flow, reserves, assets, and repeatable confidence. That's how investors move from income to actual wealth. If you want to build the full compounding framework, the structures, the systems, and the decision-making process that seminar companies charge a fortune to teach, the vault is linked in the description below. And in the next video, we're going to cover how investors know when to shift strategies before a market cycle changes. That's where timing turns into real leverage.